Hi, it's Dr. Barnett coming to you live from my house. I'm doing a video challenge. Basically, what I want to do is I want to do for the next 30 days, come to you live every single day with a video, a new video on a different topic, so that patients and prospective patients, anyone out there really in social media world, so they can understand who I am, learn a little bit more about me, get a background of who I really am and what I stand for. It's also to educate the public on what chiropractic is and what chiropractic isn't. So you're going to be seeing a lot of me. I'm excited to do this. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone, but it should be fun. So basically today's first installment is it's about why am I a chiropractor. And I've got a lot of friends that have great stories, life-saving stories where when they were a child they had an injury and the medical field couldn't quite figure out what was wrong with them, and they went into a chiropractor, and the chiropractor is who saved them. Or maybe it was a sports injury. I had some buddies that were injured pretty bad in sports, and the medical field told them that they couldn't play sports anymore. And they went to the chiropractor, and the chiropractor restored their body to where they could again play. And so there's all kinds of awesome stories like that. I personally don't have that story. I never really was injured too bad in sports or whatever, but so I don't have that. I saw a chiropractor when I was a young child, like 8 or 9 years old. I woke up, my neck was stiff, and I couldn't turn it. So my aunt and uncle took me into the chiropractor who they'd used before, and so quite honestly, when he went to adjust me, I heard the big loud noise, and I thought he broke my neck. I was screaming and crying, and realized quite quickly that he didn't break my neck, and that not only was I alive, but everyone out in the lobby could hear me crying like a baby. And so my tears quickly and my crying quickly went to kind of laughing, like, oh, wow, that, I lived through that. That was awesome. And obviously I could turn my head much better without pain, so it was great. But, I just didn't, I thought it was cool. I thought it was very cool. I thought what he did for me was awesome, but it just wasn't, I knew he had to be a doctor, and I wasn't really wanting to be a doctor when I grew up. So I never really, why I became one really was because I like to work with my hands and I like people. So, but what I'm going to talk about today is why I decided to stay a chiropractor. The chiropractic profession is not always the easiest to make a living in. We have to battle a lot in regards to public knowledge, what people perceive us as or perceive us to not be. We have to fight the medical model where they're not always on our side, and the big pharma, they've got $7 trillion worth of advertising every year that says a specific drug or potion or medication can cure anything, and that just so we're battling that, and it gets hard for some chiropractors, and there's a lot of chiropractors that fail because they can't get enough people in the door to pay the bills. So and I've been in that position. I've been to the point where I've been like, I should probably think of something different, but there's something that always keeps me plugging away, and it's the stories that I have in practice or since I started practice. It's the little miracles that I see all the time. And I'll just start with my own children. When I started chiropractic college, I had 3 kids. I had a son that was 6 years old and twin girls that were 4, and they were sick their whole life. I mean, for those 6 and 4 years respectively, they were sick all the time. Every winter they got pneumonia, RSV, upper respiratory, asthma. It just was never ending. One kid would get out of the hospital, another one would go in. They'd stay for about a week, and then another one would get out or go in, and they'd get out, and it was just back and forth, and it just never seemed to stop. And so when we moved up here to Minneapolis to go to college, our kids got sick again, and so I thought chiropractic was mainly for helping people gain range of motion and get out of pain. And as I was going through school, and I was very, very early in my schooling, I heard that it was more than just pain, and you could actually get healthier by being adjusted, and your immune system is boosted. And so I was like, well, we don't know any doctors here. Let's check this out. And so we took our kids in, and from the first visit, they got better. I mean, they started getting better. They didn't have the colds. They didn't have the RSV. We stopped using the nebulizer. They didn't go in the hospitals anymore. My son broke his collarbone, and that was years later, and that was the only time he went to the hospital. So I mean, things like that. So I quickly saw, not because of a book told me or because a professor told me that, hey, this is what we do. I saw firsthand what happens when people start to get adjusted and get under regular chiropractic care. I had a gentleman come in who walked in with a walker, and he did take very good care of his spine his whole life. He just didn't. He was a farmer. He worked hard, beat his body up, and just, you know, had that mentality of a farmer of, I'll just push through it. And very tough guy, but, you know, he was stubborn and he didn't take care of himself. He came in with a walker, and he said, I'm going to my 50-year class reunion, and I don't want to use this walker to come in, you know, to walk into that gymnasium. What can you do for me? I looked at his x-rays and I said, you know, I don't know. I honestly don't know what I can do, but I guarantee I'll work my fingers to the bone trying. And I treated him for about 3 weeks, and he came in one day with no walker, and I didn't realize it until he was actually on his way out. And I said, hey, where's your walker? And he said, Doc, I don't need it anymore. And that was pretty awesome. And you know, what's really crazy is the guy drove 2.5 hours one way to see me. You know, and I told him, I said, you know, you travel past 100 chiropractors to get to me. And he's like, I don't care. I like you, and you did a great job. And so, you know, it's little things like that. That was life changer for him. It was fantastic. I just recently had a patient who has got diabetes, and her A1C numbers are way down. And it's not just chiropractic that did it, but it was the chiropractic lifestyle. She changed some of the ways her habits of eating, when she's eating, what she's eating, and she's getting the adjustments. It's helping with her immune system. It's helping with her neurological nervous system. What happens with the brain and the body and how it communicates. And so it's little things like that, and I see it every day. And that's the reason that I stay a chiropractor. I mean, I have patients that come in, they've had migraines their whole life, and we adjust them, and their migraines are gone. And that, to them, that's a miracle. And to me, that's chiropractic. I mean, it should be a miracle to them, but we should not let ourselves get to that point where we have to have something so easily accessible to us that it becomes a miracle. You know, chiropractic is there. It's for everyone. Everyone that has a spine needs to be getting adjusted. And everyone that's getting adjusted is going to have a positive benefit out of that adjustment. Whether it's from a terrible chiropractic adjustment, someone who has very limited skills, or someone who is the very best chiropractor, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get results. That's the best thing about it. There's no side effects except increased health, maybe a little muscle soreness sometimes, but it's increased health, decreased symptoms, increased vitality. So many great, wonderful things, and that's why I stay a chiropractor. That's why I continue to do what I do. I love what I do. Every day I get to go in and I get to help people, and there's just nothing better out there. So hopefully this gives you a little insight on why I do what I do, why I continue to do what I do, why I won't let something like the medical model or the big pharma or insurance policies or any of that deter me from what I want to do and what I want to accomplish. So I appreciate you taking 9 minutes out of your day to watch this. There's more to come. Hopefully they'll be fun, exciting, informational. But as for now, I'm out, man. #GetAdjusted.